This is my news channel, the God Awful Daily News. The God Awful Truth Daily News. Because if you think the news is bad today, just wait till tomorrow's gonna be worse. For the next 4 years, what seems like the worst news in history is only gonna be topped by the shittier news the next day. So, I guess that's why I'm doing this. It's also therapeutic. Thanks for watching. There is a lot to go over. There's a lot of a continuation of the past with some of these stories. Now the trampling of the judge's orders, the Constitution, sweeping up people presumed innocent, presuming them guilty, locking them up with no process, putting them on a plane and sending them to a foreign country, into a foreign, horrific prison. Just a god-awful thing to do. God-awful. If it makes you happy to see that happen, you are a sick person. And there are sick people in our country that are enjoying that. Anyway, if you don't think that could be you eventually, you don't see the big picture. Of course, Venezuelans had to have voted for this asshole, didn't they? Why did they have to do that? Anyway, I don't see Venezuelans voting for Republicans, hopefully in the future. But yeah, so that is horrible. And one of the people we know was just an artist, a gay guy with tattoos because he's an artist who is not affiliated with any gangs. And, that's just one of the stories of many of just extreme injustices. But even if all those other people are guilty of crimes, well, let's see some evidence. Or if you're going to deport them without due process, deport them at the very least to their country of origin, back to Venezuela. I mean, just evil and cruel. And just wait. I mean, how long will it be before we're sending our prisoners to Russian gulags? You know, Putin would love to put some Americans in his prisons too. He'll take money to incarcerate people and torture them. Tom Homan is the most vile human being. I mean, there's so many of them. I guess you can't really say he's the most. He's equally as vile as all the Republicans who are insurrectionists, traitors, people who have overthrown our government. We have a fascist dictatorship now, right now. Let's see if Republicans get a backbone, get a brain, and stop being Republicans and start moving our country forward, because we're not going to get anywhere by blaming Democrats, which is what Republicans are going to do for everything. It's always someone else's fault, like children. Reminds me of when I was 6 and I was playing with matches coming home. My mom would go, "Were you playing with matches?" Then I'd say no, and I'd make up stupid excuses. I mean, that's all Republicans sound like, is children making dumb-ass excuses for everything. Oh, God. Oh, I made the mistake of seeing a Ted Cruz podcast with Elon Musk. Oh, he's so gross. These men that are just meek and weak, wearing their cowboy boots with their suits like they're some sort of cowboy, when they're just the meekest, weakest traitors in American history. And there's so many of them. How do they even sleep at night? I suppose on one of those mattresses. No, that's a funny ad campaign. How do you sleep at night? I just think about that every time I see a Republican. Sorry I didn't put on some aloha. Sorry I didn't put on any eye makeup to be, cool like all those Republican men, Oh, I think I forgot to cover this in my last episode. If you haven't heard, it's so gross, but there's this Alex Jones, of all people, the InfoWars guy, the guy who terrorized the Sandy Hook people, he claims that Trump is addicted to guzzling feces, E. coli feces. That's a pretty strange accusation, if you don't mind me saying so. The shit that comes out of all these psychopaths, I mean Republicans, on all aspects of that psychotic world. Used to be all the conspiracy theories used to be left-wing hippies. They're worried about chemtrails, and then it became right-wing psychopaths. They're afraid of vaccines, and it blows my mind. Anyway, Trump's going to be making a lot of fake threats to Putin, right? Trying to make it look like he's being tough on him, trying to make it look like anything other than him just capitulating to everything Putin wants. He's going to do everything Putin wants. He's going to destroy our country at his behest. He is a Russian asset. It is totally obvious. Everyone believes it. And he'll try to throw us off the scent because he's like, oh, everyone calls me a Russian asset, so I got to act like I'm not. So I'm going to threaten sanctions that he's never followed through on. We've already put every sanction damn near you could put on Russia, and they're already living fine outside of that. They figured it out, China too. Anyway, it's just weak. Just expect to hear him pretend to try to sound sort of tough. And then you're going to hear our media people actually act like that was a credible statement or credible threat against, oh, he's getting tough with Russia. No, he's never going to get tough with Russia because they have a file going back 40 years on all the work he's been doing for the Russians as a Russian asset. Since the only question is, has he been a Russian asset since 1980 or 1987? That's the only debate, not whether or not he's a Russian asset, just when did he start? And you Republicans voted for this. Holy shit. If you saw the cover of this, the P-tape. Yeah, but that, I don't think that's even, the P-tape is a smokescreen for a file that's that big, right? It's not a P-tape. Maybe there was a P-tape and then Putin used that to get him to work for him for 40 years, but like, there's 40 years of espionage, right? So yeah, there's a P-tape, sure, and like 20 other incriminating, 100 other incriminating things. That was just like the first one that maybe tipped the dominoes, that embarrassed him to, be told, all right, now you're gonna marry this Russian woman, and then you're gonna marry this other woman, and then I'm sure they threatened like Melania's, with her family's safety, do what we tell you, marry this man. He's insecure little meek weakling. He'll marry you. Anyway, of course, 24 years younger. Boy, what a way to throw away your life, huh? Melania. All the money in the world can't make up for the shittiest life ever lived. But we have learned, details about Trump that make him so cool, Never paid his taxes. His wife hasn't slept in the same bed with him since Barron was conceived. He's never had like a real job, a W-2 job, right? Never had like a job anybody has in the, working at any real job as a young person, right? Never had a driver's license, never been to a grocery store or bought any groceries. He's functionally illiterate. Oh, and that is this, people who've accomplished, not a lot of things that you would recognize, have all accomplished those things. Everyone in our country has accomplished more than Donald Trump will ever be able to, because he's not capable. It's unbelievable. And of course, Teslas continue to burn cross country. I haven't looked at the stock yet today. The overall stock market's showing a little resistance. It's up a little bit, but it's going to be like that. It's going to be up a little bit, down a little bit more, up a little bit, down a little bit more. And every time they can tell you, oh, it's time to buy back in. Buy the dip. Don't buy the dip. The dip's going to be bigger. Oh, my God. So the Tesla, so yeah, Teslas are just burning. There's no shortage of bad news for Tesla. There was a poll done in Germany. 93% of Germans said they will never buy a Tesla. And only 3% said they would consider buying a Tesla in the German population. 100,000 people were part of that poll. So there won't be any more Teslas sold in Germany, thanks to his love. Just like J.D. Vance, they love the Nazi Party of Germany, calling themselves AFD. So sad. So disgusting, too. So that's just Germany. I don't see people in England really wanting to buy a Tesla. I don't see anyone. Canada put like they've done all sorts of, they took away the tax rebates. I think they put 100% tariff on Teslas. And not a Canadian would ever betray his country, ever. And as a Canadian would never betray his country, he would never buy a Tesla ever again. This country, I mean, I would really be amazed, because at the beginning of this, there are people, there's less and less of them, on Wall Street saying, oh, they'll weather this storm. It's always been such a great car, cool car. It's got all these cool things. People are still gonna want to buy it. I don't know. I saw one guy who said, he paid $2,000 for fuel for the rest of his life, and so the longer he keeps his car, the more he gets Elon Musk to pay. It hurts Elon Musk the longer he drives his car. Nevertheless, I worry that guy's going to have his car vandalized. No one wants that. And please don't vandalize Teslas that are owned by good old people like you and me. Because not everyone can afford to have their car vandalized. It's not real nice. And people are selling them. But those dealership attacks, those are different. I don't have to feel bad about someone losing their car or whatever. But here's the thing, and this is why it really needs to stop. And it's not, I have the absolute worst view of Elon Musk you could possibly have. You couldn't have a worse one. And I think a firefighter would like for you to know this. If you've never talked to a firefighter about putting out a Tesla fire, an electric car fire, it requires like 30 times more water to put out than a normal combustion engine. That battery is almost impossible to put out. And the toxic fumes are so awful. So the negative side effects could be even worse for your health, for your community's health. A Tesla burning is an environmental just travesty, and it puts our firefighters at risk, and it's incredibly labor intensive to put out, and it takes a shit ton of water. In case water isn't something that's abundant where you live. Anyway, I'm just saying, not everybody, I haven't heard that even talked about in the news at all. The awful nature of an electric car when it's burning. It's like the worst environmental tragedy every time it happens. I didn't realize, I've been doing a deep dive, learning about all the Tesla deaths, how likely you are to die if you own a Tesla. You can't even get out of your car. It doesn't have mechanical doors, so if the electric's not working, you can't even get out of the car. Why would we let someone do that? If we had a regulatory agency or a government that worked, we could ask them, hey, make mechanical doors so that when you pull a latch, the door opens. But there'll be no oversight for that. The Bank of America CEO talked to CNBC. It's interesting. The former Bank of America CEO was a family friend, Dick Rosenberg. And if you don't know, Dick Rosenberg set business world history when he created the first marketing department in the history of business at Wells Fargo Bank in the mid-70s, I think 74 or 5. And there was not a marketing department anywhere in the world, in any corporation. It was not a concept that had been embraced yet. And Dick Rosenberg thought of it, designed it, created the agency at Wells Fargo Bank, and then brought forth the Stagecoach. He might have ended up living in Belvedere, yeah, and his wife Barbara. But they lived about 15 doors down. Growing up, my dad and Dick Rosenberg commuted to Golden Gate Night Law School together. And but Dick Rosenberg, my dad, didn't have anything in common because Dick had morals, ethics. He was a good man, family man, and my dad was just wanting to go get laid after everything before he came home. Prostitutes, girlfriends, you know. So interesting, the tale of two different men. But you know, anyway, when I was 1 year old, 12 doors down, my parents left me at the Rosenberg's house and went to Yosemite. Dick and Barbara Rosenberg babysat me for a week. Anyway, it's a side note. So the Moynihan, the guy who's running Bank of America, second largest bank in the United States, oversees his depositors' spending. And because of digital everything, you guys got to use cash. They watch everything you spend. Because of digital spending, he said he can tell you what everyone spends their money on, how much is being spent. And he says, our bankers spend $4.5 trillion a year. And so far this year, we haven't seen any backing off of spending, pointing to the fact that all this stuff in the news about the economy shrinking is all just fluff. But I don't think it's fluff, right? He's trying to calm everybody down, make everybody think it's all just business as usual. Doesn't really see much changes. And that's, I think, the big difference between the man up in the top office and us down here in the real world. I get the numbers, the way he sees them, but there's also all this debt coming due. People can't make the payments on their cars, their house, their student loans are going up. All these people are on, I guess, adjustable loans. So... yeah, that was an interesting interview. People have spent, in the first quarter, they've spent $1.5 trillion. So that was just interesting. Anyway, I'll keep you apprised of what they're saying in the business news and tell you how I think it checks out. Because I understand those numbers might be real, but I think that my story might be a little different. You're right. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Wait till all the earnings reports, quarterly reports, profits, estimated revenues, targets being missed, and specifically with certain companies that are being targeted by me and you. More than 1 million people have seen this video, donors of Project 2025, the Nazi manifesto that is destroying our country from the inside out, turned it into a fascist dictatorship already. We are in a fascist dictatorship. And I'm hanging on to this right to speak still while it still exists. And I'm doing my part. I'm trying to fight back one way or another, put my voice out there. I see these people in the town hall saying, I'm just trying to figure out what I can do, use my voice to try to make a difference. And God, this is god-awful news. This puts a stain on my soul just talking about it. But I got to do it because it's my responsibility. But I love the shared responsibility. I see all these lawyers, the lawyers that Trump just said their names publicly because he's such a wuss. And these guys, this guy's like, I see it as a compliment. It means I'm doing my job right. It means I'm winning. That was the best backhanded compliment I ever got. I was like, man, you are freaking brave. Oh my God. Anyway, as soon as they start locking up journalists, I'm going to have to decide if I'm going to keep doing this because they are going to start locking up journalists. Anyway, Liz Cheney. Let's talk about Liz Cheney because they've been threatening her again. We got the preemptive pardons are going to be stricken as supposedly, or Trump's trying to, right? Putting the target on Liz Cheney and all the Jan 6 subcommittee. But here's the thing. Now, I'm a father, right? And I love my kids and my daughter especially. And if someone threatened my daughter, I would not take that lightly. And if there's one thing in the world I might give up my life for, it would be to protect my daughter, right? Right? This is just a normal kind of sentiment amongst men who have daughters. All right, so Liz Cheney's dad is Darth Vader. Dick Cheney is a scary person, even many years removed from office. I'm sure he has some people. I bet he knows people that, you know, are scary people to know, and that would do things for him. I'm just saying, if you're a dumb shit Republican, you just keep threatening fucking Liz Cheney, because that can't. I mean, there's just no way that's going to end well. I don't see Dick Cheney deciding he's not going to do everything he can to protect his daughter. So yeah, that one little kernel and all the threats to all the people, it's like, hello, that's Dick Cheney's daughter, man. And you know, fathers don't take shit when it comes to their daughters. So yeah, if I was someone that was dumb enough to threaten somebody, you know, one of these meek weaklings we call Republicans, who threaten Americans on behalf of their racist, bigoted, fascist dictator president, are stupid. I mean, the dumbest thing you can do would be turn it on her, because I mean, you just might disappear, just like a alleged Venezuelan gang member. Not funny. Isn't it great how all Trump's spiritual advisors are pedophiles and rapists? That's cool, isn't it? The party that's always accusing everybody else of that is just full of pedophiles and rapists. The Tate rape brothers, pedophiles and rapists. Oh God, so much corruption. Do they think nobody sees through all that? And then that jackass Republican, because they all are, in Minnesota, trying to create, oh, Trump derangement syndrome is a mental illness. Oh, you just don't like him, like for no reason. No, he's a murderer, a rapist, the most worst person that ever lived. It's not Trump derangement system. It's the extreme dislike of a terrible person who's caused much harm to many people. And yeah, you saw the thing at the beginning. The picture for this video is just the 2 million people that are going to die this year. This year, just from one agency, right? That's USAID. So 4 years of that, that's going to be, you know, close to 10 million right there. The Trump will murder with USAID, and then shit, that doesn't even account for the people he's about to murder in our country through starvation. Children aren't going to get food in school. You know, imagine that kid that was starved by his parents, right? Locked in a room, starved. That kid, if he'd gone to school and gotten a free lunch, that would have really been good for him, huh? Since he wasn't getting fed at home. So that one kid is an example of what happens in other homes too. And that's why and we shouldn't even, I heard this one, because in some places you got to qualify. Some people don't qualify because their parents make too much money. In Hawaii, we don't play that game. Every kid gets a free lunch, because just because your parents have money doesn't mean they got their shit together and go make you lunch, or even have food in the fridge, or whatever, you know. And so, and you don't want to be left out in school. You don't want to be the one kid that doesn't get the free lunch, or so you just, if you're a decent school, a decent politician, a decent person, you give free lunches to every kid that wants it. Now, sure, they can bring school a home lunch if they want and not eat it, but eliminate the whole name, checklist, whatever. It should just be bam. Bam, free lunch, every kid, all through school. It's the least we could do. Oh my God. Anyway, there's something, this is a public service message. This is something I did a deep dive on a long time ago. And my oldest phone, this Google Pixel phone, 5A, 4A, battery doesn't work. I gotta have this thing literally plugged in all the time for it to work at all. Otherwise, it just won't work. It turns off. And I can't get a new battery, right? So finally, after 6 months of dealing with that, I finally got the free phone at T-Mobile, the Revel 7. And of course, with that comes a safety and regulatory information packet. And if you haven't done a deep dive and read this, there is a section that tells you how much radiation you're being radiated by your phone, the exact level, okay? And they use these words in here, like there's these words in here, like SAR, the specific absorption rate of radiation, and RF, so radio frequency, exposure limits for radio, so that you're exposed to radio frequency, and the specific absorption rate is the rate in question. Now, it says here that the level with this phone is 1.6 watts per kilogram. Okay, so the amount of radiation you're getting is discussed when your phone is sold to you. You're told this radiates you, and this is exactly how much radiation it radiates you with, okay? However, there is a catch. There is a fine print detail, which if you're not informed or educated, could easily kill you, cause cancer, take 40 years off your life, right? And I want my 100 watchers of this to live longer. Maybe 120, you never know. But here's the thing. What it says in here, which you'll see, now you can do a deep dive and watch people who test radiation levels of the phone. There's all kinds of videos on tests of radiation from phones, which I've watched. Now, in here, the level that they say, 1.6 kilograms per whatever, okay, that is 10 millimeters away from your body. So that's a phone that's not pressed against your ear. That's a phone that's not pressed against your body, not in your back pocket, not in your front pocket, not in your, right? Not, so, but when you press it against your body, when you take that 10 millimeter space away between the phone and your inner ear, your skull, your chest, breast cancer, heart, ass cancer, testicular cancer, you press it in your hand. When it's pressed against the human body, the radiation levels are off the fucking charts, okay? They'll probably kill you. They'll cook your brain. They'll give you cancer. Is anybody talking about this? And it's a subtle distinction. You need to know to never bring a cell phone closer than that to your body. And people do press it against their ear when they're on a phone call. They do press it against their body and walk around all day like that, right? So, now you can't avoid it when it's in your hand, but best I guess I can do is a speakerphone and headphones, keep it away when I'm on the phone. But anyway, that is something, as you know, I like to know stuff, and I like to be informed and educated on subjects of things that could kill me. I have to die someday, but I don't want to die because I was stupid. So be smart with your cell phone, all right? And if you've never read up on that, read up on it. It's pretty interesting. If you want to do a deep dive, start going through all those videos that test the radiation from your cell phone. Right up against it versus, 10 millimeters away. It's an interesting subject, and one I want you to be aware of, because that's how we're going to beat these people. If Trump doesn't end the world, which is 50-50, the way to beat fascist dictators is to vote 4 times longer, 5 times more than your fascist dictator MAGA brother or sister in your family, right? Let them die from their stupidity while you live an extra 30 years and make sure you vote. All right. Ceasefires are a joke. Netanyahu doesn't want a ceasefire. He's never going. He's just blowing smoke, just like Putin. They both want genocide. They both are committing genocide. They're just murdering. Netanyahu just dropped freaking a bunch of fresh, huge bombs, killed 200 children. Yes, you're right after a ceasefire. He just violated it and then killed 200 children. And he's cut off all water, electricity, humanitarian aid, food, everything. He's cut everything off. He's literally trying to choke these people out. He's already murdered like 200, 300,000. It's just unbelievable. And the fact that there are people out there that are like, oh, you protested, you claimed it was genocide. Like, that's a bad thing. It's just an obvious fact, truth. I mean, you know, it doesn't mean you don't like Jewish people or the people of Israel. It means you recognize Netanyahu for the criminal that he is. And most, 85% of Israelis are in agreement that that's a genocide and that he is a criminal. And the only reason he's in power is because of this war. Otherwise, he'd probably be maybe in jail. He was headed out of office and probably to jail. So, and then same thing with Putin, right? Right after he talks about a deal, ceasefire, he just starts bombing the shit out of Ukraine and doing worse things. And so, yeah, neither one of these guys, they're just so bloodthirsty and perpetually. Netanyahu and Putin are both just evil, just mass murderers. I can't imagine. And now Trump is too. He's just killing so many people. Anyway, oh God, and of course they're trying to obfuscate everything. Oh, Russia and America, we're gonna have hockey games to show how we're friendly nations. Oh my God, or let Americans into the Russian hockey league and Russians into the American hockey league because we're becoming such good allies or some weird shit. Anyway, that's coming. Musk is proving himself. He's just this fragile little girl at heart. No offense to little girls. It's just amazing, right? Like, here's a guy who you could just tell, like, he's always just kind of wished people thought he was cool. When he did Joe Rogan, and the world thought he was a little bit cool for about a week. Man, I mean, I think he really loved it. I think he got all that love from the Nazi right, and man, I mean, it just empowered him to become the Nazi he's always been. He showed the world who he really is, and now everybody hates Elon. Everybody, in all the countries, everywhere. And they're going to take it out on the company by never buying their cars again. And of course, Kia just came out with a new EV. There's a lot of good new EVs out there, a lot of good substitutes. You don't got to buy a Tesla no more. And they have terrible resale value. I wonder how low the resale value is going to go, and I wonder how low the stock price is going to go. Oh, let's look up that stock price. Yesterday it was around 226. Like 4 months ago, it was up at 488. More recently, like 470. But off of 488, you can obviously see half of that would be 244. So at 226, it's 18 below 244. And that's more than half of Elon Musk's wealth. But it was trading at 87 times earnings, which is ridiculous. So, I mean, the argument that it was due is, but yeah, it's just so fun to see racist Nazi traitors finally being treated like racist Nazi traitors. Up till now, the Republican Party's been making it like acceptable to be a Nazi racist. But then when the Nazi racists show who they really are and do their little zig heils, the Band-Aid gets ripped off. And even their own people who have some shred of something left in them, some of them are recognizing that and saying, oh, maybe maybe I shouldn't support the racist Nazi traitors. All right. Let's see. New York Stock Exchange. Let's go to the New York Stock Exchange site. Where's the Dow? I want to see the Dow. Where's a place to put in? Here we go. Okay, let's see. Okay. So the New York Stock Exchange up just a smidgen. Top 100 up a smidgen. S&P's up a smidgen. No sign of where's the NASDAQ. It's not. Oh yeah, this is the New York Stock Exchange. They don't care about the NASDAQ. Okay, let's find a different site. I think Yahoo. There we go. There we go. All right, this is gonna be fun. Okay, so let's see what did NASDAQ. Yeah, NASDAQ was up. Oh, good point. Yeah, NASDAQ had a strong little comeback, but I think there's going to be a selective kind of crash where the Tesla. Let's look at Tesla. Oh, it bounced up a little bit. Let's see, where's it at here? Oh yeah, up $10 today, so to 235. Still down more than 50% from its peak. I think in December. So still not making up for the lost ground. Just a little bit back and forth, and that's where they're really. I'm never going to try to be this smart investor that is so smart he can pick the up and down days in an overall down atmosphere, right? Like, whereas like I might have wanted to sell that short previously and then just wait, or buy it when it's low and wait. I'm not somebody buying and selling on these dips because, man, I mean, it's going to be helter-skelter. But generally, I think everything's going down. Just same angle as Elon Musk's arm was up. The stock market's going down. I love that one chart someone did where they aligned those two things. That was in Germany. They're putting those stickers up in the buses in Germany. Yeah, I know. Wait till those first quarter earnings. Oh, my God, they're going to be so bad. Oh, and they did that super illegal thing in they took $42 million in tax credits from the Canadian government after they lied and said they sold 8,300 vehicles in 2 days, right before they were to get those rebates. So that is one of the investigations that can't be stopped by Elon, which is why he's one of the main reasons he's doing all the damage he's doing to our government. Because he doesn't like anybody making him be accountable. Oh my God. Meanwhile, another person died today in a Tesla. You're 17 times more likely to die in a Tesla than you were in a Ford Pinto. How's that? But yeah, Musk is just so fragile. Why would you want the whole world to hate you? And now everyone does. And now the fragile little weak man has all this money, but there's no happiness knowing everyone hates. And they're carrying it out in violence against your business, which is your wealth. He's watching his wealth be set on fire. That is just because people dislike him so much. And it is so satisfying. Thank God finally someone's holding these racist Republican Nazis accountable in some way or another. Oh, and the spillover effect. I think Amazon is suffering, Walmart, Target, hopefully McDonald's, hopefully everyone that ever contributed to Project 2025. I hope all their companies just burn. Meanwhile, the rest of the stock market, well, a lot of companies will be affected by tariffs, but outside of that, you know, there's going to be companies that just have no idea that there's a recession because they're not one of the companies that funded the Nazification of America or that got rid of their DEI and fired all their black employees and women employees. Oh my God, rid of all the pictures of anybody black off the wall. Oh my God, the shit these people are doing is, it's unbelievable. A lot of storm damage in predominantly Republican voting places where people vote against the environment, right? Yeah, Enola Gay. You know, before Enola Gay, there was a children's book in Florida that was banned. You know why it was banned? Because the woman's last name, the author's last name was Gay. protecting those children. Meanwhile, they're dropping rapists on the streets, pedophiles all over the place. They got spiritual advisors that are pedophiles. They bring the Tate rape brothers, set them loose on the streets, and popularize them being them. Like, they just help those guys spread their message of rape and hate towards women. It's, oh my God. And then 1,600 violent criminals, cop killers, shit smears, many of which are pedophiles and rapists and sexual assaulters and abusive people on the streets with a pardon to go seek retribution. Oh my God, making America way less safe. And then, oh no, it's the guy working 80 hours a week. He's the one we gotta worry about, right? That immigrant, that guy working 80 hours a week, 2 jobs. He's such a bad guy. We gotta deport him. And wait till we feel that pain, right? The pain of the fruit that isn't there in the store because there wasn't the guy to pick it because we just treated him like a criminal. And that's just, and on a human level, it just hurts your heart to see good people just being tortured by some fascist dictator in power, seize power. And then those feckless Supreme Court justices are so gross. John Roberts just reminds you of Little Dick Johnson. Just so much Little Dick energy. Just such a meek, weak, feckless tool when he could stand up to fascism. But Amy Coney Barrett, the handmaid, you know, even though she's starting to make slightly better decisions, the truth is, because she, if you don't know, she calls herself a handmaid. She's in this extreme Orthodox Catholic cult, and in that cult, men make all the decisions. Absolutely, it's just agreed upon, you know, because women belong in the kitchen. In this case, this guy's wife is a Supreme Court justice. But anyway, I digress. All of Amy Coney Barrett's Supreme Court decisions are made by her husband. But it sounds like he's making better decisions than he used to. I just love how maybe she's starting to realize that she could be her own person. It might be happening. She might finally emancipate herself a little bit. I'm not sure. It's hard to tell. Oh, Crown Royal is right there. Right there. Crown Royal. See, I'm not drinking it very fast. I don't want to kill myself. Don't kill your liver just because of this asshole. You know, a lot of people did that in the pandemic, man. They drank so much that they then ended up putting themselves in end-stage, you know, liver cirrhosis by the end, you know, after just 2 or 3 years. 35, 40-year-olds, all these poor people saying, oh, now I'm going to die because I drank too much. I was already a drinker, but then the pandemic happened and I drank more, and now I'm going to die. Holy shit. Yeah, I don't want that. The thing is, when you get old, true story, you're going to want your kidneys to work still and your liver. It's an ugly end life without those functioning. I recently did a deep dive on kidneys. Apparently, if you have fizzy pee, if there's a lot of bubbles in there that don't pop, that's a huge red flag. That means your kidneys are not filtering enough protein, and that is probably the one symptom I'm focused on. If it ever happens, I'm gonna be like, oh, I see it now. I gotta go to the doctor and figure that out. Anyway, what else? What else is going on? Oh, Michael Flynn, I mentioned it already. I've been mentioning it for a while now, but of course, this is all these fascist dictators want to push us to chaos, which they're now having on the streets, and they're going to bring the military and the cops out and bust heads and say that there's a national emergency, martial law. Of course, under martial law, national emergency, when we're at war with Venezuela, like we've just committed ourselves to being, you can't have. You got to suspend elections. You just got to keep all these Republicans in place. You know, you can't leave office ever. You got to, as long as there's war, we can't have another, right? And Trump just had an epiphany. He's like, oh, Zelensky can't have elections because he's at war, right? And so I want to do that. So, you know, that's what's coming, unfortunately. But you heard it here long ago. Day he was elected, I told you, here comes. Military parades, don't think those aren't coming, you know. Fucking missiles going down the street, tanks going down the street, soldiers marching, you know. while Trump stands there like he's the weak man. They call him strong man, but it's just weak men. The weak men leaders. They should get their phrasing right. It's pro-death. Republicans are pro-death, not pro-life. Their leaders are weak men, not strong men, right? And on and on. The right words. They're the party of no sense, right? They call, oh, we're the party of common sense. Are you kidding me? Holy shit. They just fuck up every word that means something and give it an opposite meaning. And make anyway. The radical, they just keep, how about these meek weaklings? We call them Republican elected senators and House of Reps who are doing town halls, and they're just towing the company line like idiots, like, well, we're doing this good work, and everyone's like, fuck you! You're full of shit! Stand up to this shit. They're just such feckless losers. And of course, they all say, oh, these are radical left Democrats in here. Paid operatives. None of these people are paid. These are the people that are pissed off because, you're about to take away their Medicaid, Medicare, and you've already begun disrupting their Social Security. You're going to take that away, and you're going to make them suffer. And they are pissed off. And in the senior, a lot of seniors vote. And among those seniors, there's some serious dipshits that voted to end their Social Security. Can you imagine being a retired person stupid enough to vote to destroy your lifeline? I'm describing Republicans, unfortunately. Now, greatest thing, it's kind of like being fat versus ugly. You can do something about it. You can lose weight, right? Can't do nothing about being ugly, right? Well, Republicans are like fat people. They can lose weight, right? And become beautiful again. They can just stop being Republicans. Become a Democrat, independent. Join Greenpeace, libertarian. I don't give a shit. But you can't be a Republican or ever vote for another Republican ever again. Or you're just going to carry that stench. That traitor, ignorant, dipshit, racist stench. Nazi stench. But they're brainwashed, totally brainwashed. I know, it's so sad. It's so sad, so brainwashed, I know. And, but they become less brainwashed when they have that holy shit moment. Oh, my life is about to be over because of Republicans. Our state's about to go bankrupt. I'm about to lose my Social Security income, about to lose my, I'm a veteran. I just lost all my veterans care, and some veterans need care. Amongst other things, canceling out the suicide prevention. Now that is really cool, because Republicans are those good Christians that are trying to do the right thing all the time by murdering millions. It's like murder for Jesus. I saw this one sign. I took a picture of it. Maybe I'll put it up as a thing. It said, Jesus doesn't like 2025 or something. That was the sign. It's like, duh. Yeah. Oh my God. Oh yeah, his name is Justin Eichorn. This guy from Minnesota. He's trying to get a law passed. Trump dementia syndrome or whatever. These guys are such jackasses, right? They try to diminish people who care about justice and law and order and living in a civil society as, you're just Trump deranged. You just don't like him for no reason. Oh my God! Which reason? I mean, there's 1,000 reasons to use the H word when thinking of the racist traitor, Orange Lucifer. Oh my God! Anyway, yeah. So Justin Eichorn, working on that new law, and then goes out. Oh, it turns out he's a pedophile. Gets caught up in a sting, trying to hook up with a child. Good job, Republicans. You elect so many pedophiles, while you're worried about those Democrats. So, Noah, you should hear these guys in Louisiana, the former mayor of Louisiana. And meanwhile, there are a lot of Republicans that come from Louisiana. Then it voted to destroy the environment. And now they just proved to vote to eliminate the warning system. The National Oceanic, NOAA, they serve a very important role in detecting and telling and explaining and, hurricanes to places that are going to be affected. And here in the story from the mayor of New Orleans when Katrina happened, he said, we lost 1,800 people, but without NOAA, we would have lost tens of thousands. So I thought that was pretty interesting testimony. And that's just one of the many things that AI, there's no humans involved, right? They keep alluding to Elon Musk as if there's a human making a decision about who to fire and for what reason. And no, AI decided, because AI doesn't think like a human. Oh, well, the one way we can terminate these people and rationalize it is just to say poor performance, right? That was probably an AI thought. AI reasoned that one out. And then, okay, AI, I want you to send emails to 50% of all the employees in this agency that they're fired. Meanwhile, I'm going to go over here and tap into the computer and all the funds and start stealing it. And putting it wherever I want and getting everyone's information, which is valuable. You could sell that to China or Russia or whatever. Oh, meanwhile, we canceled out the cybersecurity people that protect us from cyber criminals in Russia because we want to allow Russia to terrorize us. One of the many things Trump has done for Putin. And it's just excuses, right? And they just keep blaming. Oh, you should hear this dipshit on Eastern Washington saying, so radical left this, radical left that. Oh, God. I mean, he just sounded so gross. Like an irreverent white supremacist asshole who just really doesn't get that he's upset his voters and they ain't going to come out. And these aren't the Democrats. These are people who voted for him in the room also. Anyway, Wisconsin has this big Supreme Court justice election soon. Elon Musk is shamelessly trying to purchase it for the Nazi Party. And we can all pray and hope that Wisconsinites can see that, do the right thing, and put this brilliant woman into the Supreme Court. And that will protect our country a lot. There's 3 big cases coming before them that could affect everybody, including gay marriage, I think. Judges are pissed. Testifiers, lawsuits. Got to speak out. I like this. From Mein Kampf to MAGA. That's what the Republicans have done. But they've always been this shitty. There was never a good time to be a Republican. The Republican Party needs to be eliminated. We need a party that is not pro-war. We'll let the Democrats exist. They can be pro-war and all their other stuff. And then we can have another party that's just not pro-war. And that's pro-women, environment, children, elderly, and people who work. W-2 workers. We need government working for these people. Anyway, that's my case. I become the king, president, god of thunder. These MAGA moms. You got that. Yeah. Oh man. All the MAGA moms. There's the MAGA mom at Oxford High School that bought a gun for her son and then took him to school with it so he could shoot his fellow students because MAGA moms aren't very smart. And then there's the MAGA mom that incarcerated her kid for 20 years. You see that MAGA makeup on her face? Boy, is she a MAGA lady if there ever was one. And then, the woman who murdered her kids, of course, the evangelical woman from Rexburg, Idaho, murdered her kids up there, Lori Daybell. Yeah, MAGA mom. I tell you what, to all you men out there, do your best not to marry a MAGA mom. It doesn't always end well, apparently. Let's see. And this talk of correction back to the market. Okay, so the market was at 22 times earnings. It dropped to 20. It was due for a correction. Tesla was 87 times earning. It was due for a correction. Okay, yes, that may be true. But what's going on is a lot more than that. And anyone who thinks otherwise is batshit crazy. And people, if you watch business news tomorrow, all day on CNBC, you're going to see people dismissing the reality. See people trying to put a lipstick on a pig. They're going to say, oh, here's a company to buy in right now. That's a good deal. Here's what I'm doing with my money. If I had money, I would not be putting it anywhere right now in the stock market, except for maybe into a high interest real estate investment trust. Maybe one of those prison REITs, or maybe Palantir, or what is it? Palantir, I think, properly pronounced. The evil company, Palantir, the Peter Thiel company that's most forward-facing. Although all of them are secretive and evil. And his software, Pegasus, that is the software that invades your phone and tracks you and becomes a tool of dictators and evil government people and anybody. Yeah, the guy, we have it, and I'm pretty sure they're using that. I guarantee you, we're going to find out that they're using that to detain undocumented people, getting into their phones, and so on. So, if you are worried about them tracking you down, get a Faraday cage. Let that be the only thing you buy on Amazon, because I don't think you can find that in your local store. Mayor Bisson's weird, man. I don't know what to think about him. He feels like a Republican, you know. Mayors don't make any kind of claim left or right. All of our elected officials in Hawaii, thank God, are not Republican. There's very few people here to be stupid enough to vote for Republicans, thank God. But Bisson, I mean, you know, that history where he went to law school with freaking the former attorney general, and, you know, there's conspiracy theories about him. Then there's the other side of it. I saw him at that local event. I didn't know he was like the cousin of like some of our most beloved musicians, and you know, a local person through and through. But has he been corrupted? I'm sure he's been. It feels like he's been corrupted. You know, he denied it. He's just like a Republican the way he denies everything. He wasn't present the day of the fire, right? And he's never told anybody where he was and what he was doing throughout the day. To the bench by Governor Linda Lingle, who is a Republican. Yeah. So yeah. But Lingle was, you know, a Jewish woman voted to be governor, and she created. I think she's the one that I can thank for these public pools. So not all Republicans are entirely terrible. I think she was one of the few Republicans that might not have been entirely terrible. But yeah, that's so yeah, okay. So yeah, I don't get any feel. No one feels like they can trust him. No one comes away from observing him and thinking, oh, that guy makes me feel good inside. You know what I mean? But yeah, he's never accounted for where he was during the fire. And the only excuse I can think of that he should have come forward with, and that might have been the case, if he wasn't like having an extramarital affair or out on the golf course. You know, I can see a guy his age needing to go to some emergency doctor visits because he was just told he's got a polyp or something and he might have cancer. Like maybe he had doctor's appointments throughout that day about sensitive stuff. You know, I don't know. That's the only plausible, good excuse I could think for him just to not be present. Meanwhile, it had been me, man. I'd have been calling the goddamn military and saying, I want you to load up water tankers, fire trucks, fire crews from the military, from the airport, from your community, and flying them over here. You got those giant freaking cargo planes, right? And they could have been here. It's a 30-minute flight. It wouldn't take that long to load them up. That shit's all on standby anyway. 40 minutes to the fire, right? How long would it take from the moment you activated that call to the point where you could get resources at the airport to the fire, right? That video I just posted, 8:15 at night I was making that. Right before my house got taken at 8:15 at night. That shit had been burning for 6 hours, 7 hours. It also started in the morning. There were other fires, reasons to bring resources here from another island. There are resources on other islands. There is a military installation with giant cargo planes that you can just drive, giant trucks onto and fly them over here. I mean, anyway, if I was governor, mayor, whatever, in the military, if I'd been a commander over there, I would have said, this is what we got to do. Anyway, that's the thing that I'll just never understand, because it would seem so logical, so simple. All those resources just sit in the wait. But yeah, anyway, thanks for asking. What else? Oh, God, yeah, so there's those else. Oh, God. I love all this conjecture. Everyone is great. Everyone says Little Dick Johnson is probably gay. That gay hater. Just like the mentor of Trump, right? Roy Cohn. The super gay guy that made it his life's mission to ruin the lives of gay people. I don't. It's a strange psychosis, like Lindsey Graham and Mike Johnson, apparently. There's nothing wrong with being gay. There's nothing wrong with being gay. It's a wonderful life, whoever you are. However, but if you're gonna make your life the life of somebody who persecutes, prosecutes, tortures, kills gay people, does everything you can to hurt them. You're a Republican, and yeah, that's weird. It's weird. Anyway, and like Steve Miller, this guy we all watch. He's the guy that used to be a Republican, openly gay. How could you be gay and a Republican? The party that's right now just hoping if they can get this judge in Wisconsin, they can take away your right to get married and all the rights that go with it. Why would any gay person vote for that? Gay is for Trump. What the fuck? They took away 2 of the letters. It's not LGBTQ, it's just LGB, right? The famous monument that was Stonewall in New York, the place where the gay rights movement started. They changed the words on the public plaque or whatever. I mean, it's just the weirdest shit. Meanwhile, prices are going up. Americans are less safe. Republicans are putting rapists and violent murderers out on the streets. What's going on, man? What's going on? And of course, all this, the JFK files, all this is an obfuscation because, the Epstein files are right there. And they are not going to be released. And if they are, they're going to be heavily redacted. And Trump is all up in them. All the Trump stuff's going to be taken out. Imagine these people that pretend to care about, anything, any of that stuff, Jeffrey Epstein. And then they're like, oh, Trump's in here. Then we got to hide it because, we love him so much. We can't embarrass our cult leader. Pam Body's so gross the way she just gargles. It's like she's got Trump's nuts and she's just gargling them the whole time she talks. I just love him. I've never seen such a weird, dazed, confused look on a person's eyes. The look of a brainwashed cult member who's the attorney general. Oh my God, she is the most frightening amongst others. I mean, they're all frightening. Tattoos. So here's an interesting thing, and this is where it's going to get real scary for Americans, right? If we don't put a stop to the racist dictator. We just swept up 250 people, accused them of being criminals, whether they were or not, and justified it because they had tattoos. Holy shit. So in the real world, what's been happening down here on the bottom, the real world, places like the Ritz-Carlton even, right? And everybody else. They're an example of someone that would have been restrictive and who's no longer restrictive with personal stuff, right? You can have a beard now and go to work at the Ritz-Carlton. You can make the awful mistake of having a man bun and you can go to work at the Ritz-Carlton. You can have a full sleeve of tattoos. Full sleeves. I worked up there with guys with full sleeves, tattoos, okay, at the Ritz-Carlton. And now having a full sleeve makes you a criminal, makes you a gang member, makes you somebody we need to deport. Imagine you could be a third generation Mexican with a Mexican accent because you grew up in a rich Spanish household and not have your paperwork on you, have a full sleeve of tattoos, be just a guy that works at the Ritz-Carlton, get pulled over by immigration and said, "Oh, where's your papers?" "Oh, we don't believe you. We're deported in Mexico, sorting it out in Mexico." You know, that probably already has happened and will happen and is happening. And this is just the beginning of the horrible treacherous of these people who identify as religious, but their whole modus operandi is suffering, causing pain, hate, murder, rape. It's real hard to want to go to church anymore for me. Last time I went to church, the dipshits, the assholes running this church, these fucking devil worshippers, talked about who we should vote for. A clear distinction of crossing a line, separation of church and state, not adhering to it, because that shows you're stupid, right? An intelligent religious person understands the need for separation, the value of separating superstition from laws, facts, and reality. God damn. Anyway, I'll never look at that church with respect ever again. I might go once in a while just to see if they ever say anything that makes sense. I keep going to church. I've been to church 100 times just waiting. Will you please say something that makes sense? Oh no, wait, somebody had to get tortured and die and be just brutalized for me because I'm gonna commit a sin today that I need to be absolved for by torturing and murdering somebody 2,000 years ago. This is that logical? I don't know. I mean, I get that 25% of the people in the world believe that to be true. Does it make it true? I don't know. It's a little strange. You know, I just lost another 10 subscribers. Good riddance. All right. You ever wonder with the right, you know, like you just mentioned them being brainwashed, right? Like, so they're brainwashed, right? But like, do you think they get like reality curious? Because I'm always like Russian propaganda curious, right? I watch reality, disseminate lots of different news sources, and then I go to Fox just to see what kind of lies they're spreading, right? And I wonder if in the reverse, you know, the people who just watch lies being spread, Russian propaganda all day, if they don't just say, "Oh, well, maybe we should peek behind the curtain and look at some other channel just to see what's really going on in the world." Like, let's be, you know, reality curious about reality, things that aren't lies. You know, and, you know, like Social Security getting cut. And, oh, God, anyway, you just got to wonder. Because I am Russian propaganda curious. So I would assume that some of these racist, bigoted, brainwashed, insurrectionist-loving traitors, they might occasionally, you know, get reality curious. Or what are normal people, real people, people with critical thinking skills, what are they saying? You know what I mean? Like, what's really going to happen tomorrow? Nope. Nope. That's funny. Well, I can only dream. I can only dare to dream. The only hope I have is if things like that just might happen. But, you know, you figure when your Social Security check doesn't come or you can't get your veterans benefits, you can't go to the doctor. I wonder if at that point you get reality curious. You're like, maybe we should look around in the corner and see what's really going on. Now that all these horrible things have happened to me because I voted for them, maybe I should figure out why. Oh no. Well, the best thing is this just drives me nuts, and it's happening everywhere in the media right now. Blame the Democrats. They're not doing enough to fight back. No, blame yourselves for voting for these racist, bigoted Nazi traitors, Russian assets taking over our government. Holy shit. Klansmen and Nazis. Fascist dictatorship is what we are in right now. Blame the Republican voters. Blame the Republican senators in your state and at the federal level. Blame the Supreme Court racist traitors who don't give a shit about the Constitution. I mean, when the Supreme Court blatantly defies the Constitution and people with a third-grade education can see that, I mean, it's gross. It's gross. And these guys think that, oh, well, the legitimacy of the court is in question. Yeah, there's no justice, there's no truth, there's no ethics, there's no morals, there's nothing that resembles what the Supreme Court should resemble in the Supreme Court. And that's what majority of Americans can see. It's laid bare in front of us. So it's just hysterical, because we're going to see this meek little weak Justice Roberts speak up a little bit, just here and there. And then we're going to see Amy Coney Barrett occasionally act like she isn't in a cult, and that she's starting to have her own thoughts, but it's all going to be weak and not enough. Yeah, but have no fear. From Black Panther to Black Klansman, Justice Uncle Thomas, he gonna retire, and they're gonna replace her with Eileen Cannon, and that's gonna make the world better, you know? That girl with eyes, it's not eyes wide shut, it's eyes wide apart. I wonder what, I mean, Neanderthal's eyes were too close. I wonder, was it Cro-Magnon man that was way on the side? Anyway, I don't know. Or is she related to a hammerhead shark? It's hard to understand. But I think part of what's wrong with Eileen Cannon is her eyes are just a little too far apart. She really is the dumbest judge I could ever imagine. Eddie and everything she did and said, that whole case, she got to have the lowest IQ of any judge in America. But of course, she was nominated by President Trump. Someone with an equally low IQ. You know, he uses the word low IQ all the time, but there's hidden deep meanings to that. See, he was called by other kids his whole life, in grade school, at the military school, in college. His whole life, every kid that knew him in school called him a retard. It hurt his feelings so much. He can't use that word against others because it's hurt him so much, and he knows if he does, it'll make him look bad. So he always goes to the word low IQ. But that's because he was teased so much. He wouldn't care normally. He would use the word that I use. I won't say it again. Sorry for using it if it offended you. Make no mistake, I will eventually offend you on my channel in one way or another. Anyway, that's it. That's all the shitty news. And now I'm 72 minutes in. Oh, God. Anyway, what day is it? I don't even know. That's first thing I've been doing. Like, what day of the week is it? The world is so... Oh, man. It's hard not to want to get drunk and be irresponsible. Anyway, I got a friend that might want to move here. And I pray, because I have bad credit, that he'll want to include me in like owning part of the house, and then maybe we can build like a bomb shelter. Anyway, I don't know. I'm working on whatever I can to try to prevent myself from dying from this evil. And what kills me is if all these things come, you know, the sun gets blocked, there's some level of radiation coming down from the sky. All these sick people with the worst genetics, all descendants of people who lynched people for fun and kept body parts as trophies, right? All these Republican elected officials, right? The worst genetically polluted pool of people on earth, they're gonna be the ones with the best bunkers that outlive us all and then populate the earth afterwards. That's the worst thing about Trump being president, is when he starts a nuclear disaster, he gonna have the best bunker and a staff catering to him for the rest of his life, underground. But he's still gonna be living just fine underground, while everyone else is suffering. Anyway, and how twisted is that? Barron Trump likes Andrew Tate. That's scary. That's scary. Thanks to those ladies that I've had it. You gotta love those ladies at Hysteria, doing the real work. Midas Touch Brothers, Occupy Democrats, Jesse Dollamore kicks ass. That there's a real American right there, Jesse Dollamore. If you feminine Republicans want to know what a real man looks like, it's Jesse Dollamore, ex-Marine, raised by racist shithead Republicans like me, but then saw the light. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you thought the news was terrible today, just wait. Tomorrow's gonna be worse. I'm so sorry. So sorry. If it ever gets better, I'll change the name of this show. Hopefully in 4 years, because we're all living, we're all alive still, and we have free speech still. All these things are in question now that we have, you know, criminal, sociopathic, narcissistic, pathological liar in the White House and in every other position in the Republican everything. Love you, Tam. All right. Do no harm, do no crime. Go have a productive day. Be the best person you can be, you know? Let the person go in front of you. Drive carefully. Eat healthy. Exercise. Sleep well. Pretty soon there's going to be this new study. Oh, that's right. There's no more study. Scientists have all been fired. Well, if there was a new study, it would tell you if you eat right, exercise, and sleep right, that's the cure for everything. And right on. And so, yeah. Do no harm. Oh, yeah. Do no harm. Do no crime. Thanks for watching. All good things in all good time. Aloha.